yel2a yellow class. This is Tuesday, January 31. So for those who weren't here, let's see if I can at least put in the first two for you. Those who've been here, hopefully this feels so easy that it's like, oh man, a long time ago I wouldn't have known how to do this. But now that I've been in the class, that letter V is going to act just like the letter U for parabola. And this 4 to the left, we know it's 4, and then from there we know because the left of the equation is always the opposite sign. Left is normally negative numbers, and right side is normally positive numbers. So if you go to the left, you would expect it to be a negative number, but this is the parent function, they call it. This one is already on your paper. I'm just writing that for someone who may not have been here to help them out. Out there and make it up. Right now they might feel a little bit lost, like, ooh, shoot. And you just move that around. Again, when it's trying to move the picture, you actually move it the way they tell you to. 1, 2, 3, 4. One thing that I don't think I've been doing is stressing writing down the vertex, also known as the minima. Eventually I'm going to start stressing that. So let me do this, the expanded version of the equation. That's the equation to begin with, but when you put in your A, your H, and your K, A goes in the same place, which looks like a 9. I'm going to mark that. And what we're doing here is what they call spiral practice. In other words, each class, technically they want you to retaste the last thing so that by the time you get to the assessment, even though I want to give you part of it now, it wasn't something you did last Tuesday and haven't seen again since then. And for those who have good attendance, always good to be here. If you miss, of course, you can try to watch the videos, even though it's clear that for these. And so when you put in your equation of the absolute value bar, now some of you are so used to the parabola, you may have drawn a parabola as a picture. Some people for the equation even use the parenthesis to the second power. But because this one is its parent function is this guy, it really will be move it 3 to the right. And because it's 3 to the right, which is normally a plus 3, it turns out, of course, it'll be a minus 3. Now, we're not going to stay a lot of time on this particular one. I am going to give you a handout that's going to look more test-like, the way they're going to ask the question. Like, for example, they may ask, what effect would having a fraction as a stretch factor be? Anybody know? Would it make it wider or narrower if there's a fraction? Wider. So they're just going to ask you that, so you won't even have to draw a picture for it. They might ask you that question. They may also ask you, what effect would having a regular number like a 5 as the stretch factor? Would it make it wider or narrower? Of course, it would make it narrower. So as we do these, I am going to give you a sheet that kind of, you'll kind of take it like a test. We'll go through it together, but just to see, okay, if I have to answer this one, I think it would be, and just that point, you get what you need. So in this case, again, 3 to the right. I saw it enough times. If you need to adjust yours, you can. I'll do this one here together, and after that, then we'll pass out the test so that you can, 1, see what's on it, 2, highlight boxes with 2s. What do I need to get a 2? And then from there, we'll collect those after letting you look at it for a little bit. This is an x and a minus 3. Take a look at it. Most of you have that. Some may need to adjust. And if you need to adjust, go ahead and do that. This one down here, I'll have us build this one together, and then I'm going to leave this sheet alone. Any adjustments you need to make here. Let's see, 7 units moving to the left. So I know it's going to be a 7, and then I know it's going to be a plus. I'm going the opposite direction. The up and down, no big deal. I see a 3, and since it's going up, it's just regular. Today's lesson, when we get to the end with the circle will also have the I'm going to the left and I'm going to the right thing. The difference with the circle will be for those who can start just planting the seed so that when you get there, you're like, oh, got it. Moving things to the left and right here, you have to use the opposite sign. Up and down, you use the regular sign. When we get to the circle, both of them, you'll have to use the opposite sign. That's it. So when we get to the circle, they're going to say the circle was moved, the center was moved 7 units to the left, and it was moved up 3 units. It'll be a plus 7, just like we did here. But this 3, which normally would be a plus 3 going up, it'll be a minus 3. The end, you win. You got 2 standards. And that's my goal. I'm sure there's more to be said about it, but my goal is, how can I make it nice and easy, nice and smooth the very first time? Here comes, this guy was 7 to the left. Someone tell me what's going with the x, please. Plus 7. Someone else tell me what I'm putting at the very end. Take a look at it. See if it's difficult. What they're trying to get you to feel is this. With this version, it does exactly the same thing. If we were to go up here, I'll go up here for a moment, to this x to the third power, you haven't got this handout. But this one, just so you can feel it, this the picture that goes with this is the kind of like an S. It has 3 parts: bottom, middle, top, third power. They'll do the same thing if I move it 2 units to the left. You have that there. You got your 2 because it's going the opposite direction. Here's what the equation would look like. Instead of a parenthesis to the second power, it's a parenthesis to the third power. And basically what they're trying to say is, once you know how to do one of them, you know how to do all of them, because you can always extend the whole thing to be a, whatever the x is, with a parenthesis, x minus h, and then finally at the end, the k. They want you to be able to do that, and there are 10 different functions, 10 different formulas that this goes for. So they're getting you to get used to it, whether it's a S, whether it's a V, whether it's a U, the picture, you know how to go for it. All right, so let's do the second thing I wanted to, which was I wanted to pass out this, so you put your name passed out on it. I want you to grab a highlighter right now, because you're going to put highlighter on, you're going to outline box 2. Inside of box 2, I'm going to want you to just read what's in there. Do I need 3 out of 4 to get a 2? Do I need 1 from part 1, 1 from part 2, which is what they did on unit 1? So we'll do that briefly. Then we'll give you the last part of standard 1, which is this thing. We'll take some of standard 4, and then we'll test them. Now, I'm kind of doing you guys a favor. Technically, the way they had things planned is you do a whole unit, and then you come back and you do the whole thing. This time I'm willing to take a taste and a few bites. Worst case scenario, they'll hear that I did it and they'll be like, hey, don't do that. And I'll go, okay. So the next class after you, I won't get the benefit, but for you, since it already happened, I'll do okay. And the reason behind it is, sometimes when you learn something really well, if you can test on it right away, it's still in your brain. Once you mix it up with some extra stuff, then you're like, oh shoot. Is this one of those where it's a double move? So I'm trying to avoid that. Again, on here, you're putting your name, class, color. Of course, you are yellow, YEL. Those are here very good to see a few for apps today. And apps will always mess you up. 1, you don't get to preview the assessment like this. 2, you wind up having to take the whole thing at once. So what is it you're doing now? Name, class, color. The second thing that you're going to do, you're going to go to standard 1, and you can even highlight the 1. It's right above the whole problem. Highlight just the 1, and then put a highlight box around box 2. Now, what if you were planning on getting a 3? That's still fine. Do box 2, and you can look to the left to see what's in box 3. All I want students to know is, okay, what is it that I need to do, or how many points do I need to get, so that on standard 1, I get a 2. Then you turn to standard 2. And again, read what's in the box. The first one I think says part 1, part 2. I'm going to try to see if I can bring mine up on the board while you do it. If I can find mine. I'm not going to stay too long here. The goal isn't to study them as much as it is to at least let you see it briefly. That's good. Reading in there. also some of these, I'm doing it with the intent of getting you a 2 or 3. Sometimes, I've done in the past, I've taught for a 4. Teach for a 4 has become kind of involved. And I found that it'll get narrower. And again, the idea is not to be tricky. But I'll put narrower, even though you could write out a sentence, but in the interest of time, narrower, sort of narrower. And then, of course, to sketch that guy, this is the parent function, which if I were having you do it, I would have to mark that guy as a y equals x squared. I would have you put a little thing on him, y equals x squared, so that his narrower partner, I'll make him red. He's on the inside of that guy. Now, how much inside? Well, that part, you don't have to be super exact on that part. Just the idea that I know this is kind of skinny or narrower. And what I was saying earlier, if you kept it in pencil, you didn't do a highlight to change the color so I know what goes with this one, I would put y equals the 5x squared. If they're all in pencil, that way he knows which formula is connected with the other. Well, of course, if the whole number is narrower, the fraction is going to be what on this side of the room up here? It's going to be wider. So today, I think they asked you questions similar to this on the assessment. And I can see why they kind of wouldn't want us to give you the assessment today, because let's say we just said it now. We give it to you now. It's right there now. Then tomorrow you don't have to remember it because it's already on the assessment. But still, I'm going to do it anyway. Wider. I should have written that in a different color. Now it's going to be in 3D. If anyone brought the 3D glasses, watch out, it's coming at you. That looks weird. Wider. Have you ever spelled a word like, that's weird? I'm going to keep it wider. And so in this case, I'm putting green. The green won't stand out that much. How much wider, like, how wide do you make it, Thomas, for a 1/3 versus a 2/3 versus a 1/4? For our purposes, it doesn't matter as long as you know the thing is wider. This one is going to be, what is this, the 1/3. I don't know that it asked it, but I'm going to put it on here as a reminder because it's an important reminder. Here's the original, the black right there. The black one is the original. If they ask you to make the original reflect over the x-axis, what they're really saying is, hey, make it flip down. What's the equation that would make x to y equals x squared flip down? Anybody know what I would add to that to make it flip down? Yeah, that's why I'm saying it now. I heard someone kind of say it. Say it again a little louder, whoever said that. Yeah. So to make the original flip down, that's true, you need a y equals, and that negative sign on that x squared will make it flip down. I wish I could write in the words on this one. I think I even will. Reflect parabola over x-axis. Why is he using that specific language? I think they may ask questions similar to that, and I want the language to be not the thing that messes you up. Like, if you understand what they're saying, reflect, to open downwards, reflect parabola over x-axis. I would say write it down this one time if you haven't written it before. I felt like we may have written it somewhere else, but over x-axis. You know, in math, they use axis a lot as some of your writing. But the word sometimes doesn't feel like it means anything. Think of axis as like a main road. So Sierra is an axis in Fontana. Sierra is an axis. Another axis in Fontana, maybe the y-axis, could be Foothill. Foothill is another like main, like this important street. So when you hear this word axis, like all these are streets going left and right. Like this main guy here, the x-axis, he's like the main road. But this little guy right above, y equals 1, he goes across. Y equals 2, he goes across. They're just not axes because they're not the main road. The next time you're driving down Sierra, say to whoever's driving the car, hey, I'm glad we're driving down this axis of Fontana. What? Yeah, we're driving down the axis of Fontana. Sierra is. Yeah, stuff at school. You don't get it. You just not. Oh no, don't do that. All right. In any case, here we go. Let's keep going down. We sketched the 2 graphs. Hopefully you're okay on those. They didn't even do a left or right on those, which they may not on the real deal. Let's see what's down below. Did I get down below before I switch to the next page? This is a free-for-all. I did side by side. Hey, can someone say, does this vertex have a maximum or minimum? Yeah, it's so sweet that that's just an obvious thing now. It's not something to think about. It's not something like it's a hard new word. Minima is a minimum. Line of symmetry, I'm gonna come to it, but let's see. They want the equation. I wish that did they ask us to write it? Did it ask us to write it? Oh, there it is. Oh, right next to number 3. Thanks. Um, Here is the minima. What is the coordinates of that minima? 3, and I hear a -2. All right. Now here comes the line of symmetry, the part that I didn't give you. Well, can anyone say, you may happen to know, you may have had it in the class, I don't know. Anybody know what the line of symmetry is? A lot of stuff out there, I probably should have taken a hand. Let me see. Well, I'll go around. I saw one, I'll just wrap around this way. What were you going to say? Then I'll hit back. What were you going to say? Were you going to say something?
Me?
I thought I saw your hand on this one. Okay. What do you have for the line of symmetry before I hear some of the other explanation? Okay, I hear a 3. Okay, that's going to start us off on that one. I felt like Nick, you were saying something, and then I felt like Marquise was saying something. So put it out there. Whatever you were saying.
It's the line between.
For sure, it's the line that cuts it in half. All right, I like that. The last thing I should say about this is it has to be written as an equation. It has to be that x equals. And the reason it has to be that x equals, technically, if you wanted to write the equation of this line, the way you write it is the number and the axis that it hits. This vertical line hits the x-axis, therefore you say, oh, x at 3. If I were to draw a line like this, going across that way, to write that equation, because it hits the y line, it would be y equals whatever the number is. In this case, happens to be 1. This is an important thing because this line here, the x-axis, has an equation. And that equation happens to be y equals a number. Anybody know what that number is? Say it again? It's going to be y equals 0 because here's -1 on the y line, here's 0 on the y line, here's a -1 on the y line. Because it hits 0, the x-axis equation happens to be that. All right, that's some information you didn't really want. Here we go. Let's keep moving. So again, the correct answer for the line of symmetry, whatever the x value is in the vertex, that is always the line that whoosh, cuts it in half. All right, let's see if I can get the last part here. The equation. Oh, okay, the equation. Sure. If you've answered already, don't answer. Let me see if I can get some extra people in. Let's see. We moved this thing to the right and we moved it down. Can someone tell me what's going to be in the parenthesis with the x? Plus or a minus something? -3. He's the opposite. Someone different who hasn't answered. Tell me what to do with the up and down. Does it go down or go up? All right. The people who answered, you can come back in. What is going to be at the very end? Take a look at it. Take a look at it. And here's the connection I want to make to the next handout that I'm going to give you with the circle. If you have the vertex, in this case, or this thing would be the center of the circle for the new handout, if we have this automatically, I want you to notice the connection between it and the equation. The 3, I'm going to mess up my drawing now by doing that. The 3 goes to begin with. I should have just written it right below it. And the 2 comes right behind it. So those two stay in order. When you get the center of a circle, the first number is going to come first, in a parenthesis. The second one is going to come second. The only difference between this parabola and what I'm about to give you is that they will both be in parentheses. And both the signs are going to change. Both in parentheses, both the signs are going to change. So let's get number 5 so I can give you that other sheet before you forget. Get the center, put it in a parenthesis. Get the center, put it in a parenthesis. Let's see here. If the parabola were shifted, ooh, okay. Let's see where the new vertex is going to be. If the parabola were shifted 2 units to the left, all right, you come back this way 2, and 1 unit up, and 1 up, we'd wind up right here. Okay. What is the vertex of this new one? Where is this dot right here? We go over 1, negative 1. Why is that important? Because now that I have that, automatically, again, if I was writing it directly below it, but before we do that, let's have a word of prayer. No, all right, here we go. Let's see. Did I say that already in the class before? Whatever. Anytime I have to kneel down to do that, I'll do that. For my first 7 years as a teacher, it turns out I taught at a Christian school. And before math class, we could do it. Beginning of the day, we had a little worship or whatever. This is junior high. It's kind of interesting. The first 7 years. In any case, if I'm writing out the formula, I got my y equals. Parenthesis, the first number goes in there with the x, but just the opposite sign. The second guy, you go outside. You have a vertex, you have an answer. So what we're going to work on in this new sheet that I'm going to pass out is, hey, how do you get the center? Because once you get the center, you have an answer. Pause. All right, let's see if I can make this thing large, make up some centers, and then see if we can produce some circles. Make one or two of them tricky so that it's not super easy. Do I want them to highlight anything? Yeah. Grab a highlighter. You're going to have to switch on this one because what I want you to highlight is the idea that the h inside this bigger equation, this is the equation of a circle, the expanded equation of a circle, it still does the same thing that h did with the parabola. The same thing that h did with the absolute value, that was the letter v. Switch colors, go on the k. Now the k is now different. But because k is inside of a parenthesis with a minus sign, yeah, it still does the up and down, but it'll do in reverse. So back here, we see if we can grab a highlighter, that way you can highlight. Should I highlight anything with the R? I don't know why I'd highlight anything with the R. I'm going to write down the word radius. Radius. Oh. So for those who've taken geometry, radius, that's from the center of the pizza to the edge. Cutting a cake right down from the center to the edge, you have a radius. Eventually, when you're in second semester of Algebra 2, you're going to find out about radians. Radians is the official name of the crust of the pizza. A radius, you cut it from the middle to the edge, and then if you were to cut the outside crust the same distance as the middle to the edge, you have a radian. So if ever you hear radian, just know they're talking about the edge of the pizza. All right, let's get some easy answers. Then they can figure out easy answers. Look at the big paragraph. Paragraph's supposed to be trying to make it harder, but in the paragraph, they still have to give you the center of the circle. Once you have the center, bang, you win. All right, Thomas. Let's see if we can give it to them. My goal as a teacher is to make it as easy for them as it is for you. Fine. Here we go. Let's make up a center. Have them plot the center, and then guess the equation for it. And then I'll do the right one. Oh, shoot, I got the first one. I'll do a second one with a little twist, and then do the third one to make sure everybody misses it, and you can feel bad about yourself. All right, here we go. Let's see. Number 1. Let's give them a center and a radius. Because the radius is new, whatever the radius is that I give you, we'll just put that radius and raise it to the second power. Everybody's gonna get a little baby 2. You get a baby 2, you get a baby 2, you get a baby 2, like on Oprah. Oh, I don't know if you guys old enough to know Oprah. So she had a TV show. All right, here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Then she gave away cars one day. You get a cars. It's so big. Here it comes. Center. Let's go 2, 3. For the center, let's do 2. Let's do 2, 3, and then the radius. Make it a 4. No, yeah, I'll make it a 4. 2, 3 is the center of the circle. If it'll ever write for me in the radius, if I go slow, there's going to be a 4. I don't know if it's going to fit on that graph, but I am going to show you how to draw it in a moment. So let's do this. What is it that Thomas wants from us? He wants us to write in the equation that goes with this center and this radius. What is it that we need to know to be able to do that? We know the x, h. I'll put that part in so that they can feel that the first one is h. The second guy's a k. I'll put that in. They're going to put it right into the formula. And then there, I should have them write the formula. Yeah. Below your answer, if you write the answer here, I want you to rewrite the formula. As a matter of fact, my goal will be to have you write the formula 5 times in a row. Why do you have to write it 5 times in a row? Because here you can look at it, stare at it, try and memorize it. But if you have to write it the first time and the answer, okay, that's once. You write the second time and the answer, okay, got it, x minus h. The third time in the answer, got it, got it, got it. Fourth time in the answer, fifth time, you have it without trying to memorize it. So I do want you, if you write in your equation for the answer, below it, you can write down the original equation. Or if you wrote the original equation, and then you can write down the answer below. But the point is, he wants you to write this thing 5 times. All right, let's see. Here comes the, sure I'll do it. It's going to pain me to do it. I'm going to write down the equation. I know some of you all didn't. Write down the equation, x minus h squared plus the y. X comes before y, just like h comes before k, just in case you need some kind of way to think how to memorize that. And r is all the way there at the end. Dang, I'm not even going to have space to write it again. Maybe I'm asking you to do something that's impossible. Nonetheless, there goes. Top row. Someone say out loud what's going with the x. Minus 2. We got 2 people on that one. I appreciate that. Don't answer again. Then, someone tell me what's going on with that y. Minus 3. Okay, we got the second one. And what's at the very end? Someone different? You could, but for our purposes, we'll keep it as is. So we'll keep it just like that. If you did that 16, perfect. Make it that sensitive. All right, whatever. Take a look at it. See how you feel about it. No big deal. And that's the kind of teacher I am. This is technically standard 4. What I'm supposed to do is teach standard 1, then go to standard 2, which is something different. Then go to standard 3, which is something different. Now, why I'm acting like a little dog, I don't know. It's just how I'm doing it. Then I get to like standard 4, and then I say, hey, remember standard 1 when we moved it? I'm like, no, I don't remember that. It's like so long ago. But instead, I decided, well, click those 2 together. That way, make them obvious. It goes left and right. It goes inside. It's the opposite. Give them the test. They win. That way, when you leave high school, like, you know what? I hated math, except, you know what, that one time. One time that dude that was juggling. I don't know his name. He's acting like a dog. Acting like a dog. All right, here it comes. Let's give him second center. We'll just tweak it a little bit. Change a little bit, rather. Let's go with, sure. Let's make the 2 negative. I'm sorry, because the second one I want you to actually be able to graph it in addition to. So, how do you graph this thing? How do you graph it? Here we go. Let's do this fast. Checking the clock. This was a 2, 3. I'm going over 2. I'm going up 3. Okay. There it is. To graph it, the radius is how far away from the center you are. You just count out from the center that many blocks. So, for example, here, if he is a 4, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Is the first guy to the east? Well, I'll go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I try to sketch a little circle around that. Voila, I win. That's it. So on this next one, when I give it to you, I'm going to, let's see, 2, 3. Let me do 2, 4. And then on this one, I'm going to make the radius so big that it won't fit on the picture. As a result, you have to change the scale. What does it mean, change the scale? That means instead of each block being 1, 2, 3, even though they're super small blocks, you might make the blocks 2, 4, 6, 8. You'll see what I mean when you scale it. So I might be changing too much on this second one. I'll try it. Sure, I'll make it a 10. 10 is super big. Maybe I'll make it 8. Still, what's most important to me is, can they write out the formula? So I don't think that circle's going to fit in there, which is one of the things they're going to ask you, like, hey, what if your circle's too big? Is there a way for you to shrink it by changing the scale? I'll show that part. So formula, write the formula again. I'd want you to write down the full equation, even though space is limited. Oh, shoot, I wasn't even recording. Sorry, people who weren't here. I skipped some things. It's this equation here that now there's way too much stuff for it to even be clear. There. Unless maybe if I highlighted it. See that hiding there. So I'm scaling. I'm doing 2, 4, 6, 8. So let's see. if I'm trying to do a -2, comma 4, -2, you're going to, oh, I can't believe this. Why would they make it so small? Hey, here's a way to make it hard for a teacher to teach. Let's make these blocks extra small, 2, 4, and then he's going to write extra small so kids can't see it. I feel like I'm in a bad dream. Nonetheless, here we go. 2, comma 4 is the center. 2, comma 4 are you? I'm sorry, -2, comma 4. There's the center. To go out 8, each block is 2, so it's like 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Each block is worth 2. 2, 4, 6, 8. It makes still a small circle. Now I know some people did the bigger circle, like those. And if you do the big circle, better to do a big circle. It's like juggling with 2, than it is juggling with 4. In other words, in some ways they may not want to give you the full credit with the big circle. But that's what we have there.
They won't give you the full credit.
They don't want to because they're going to say something about please write the scale so we see the full picture. The scale one is the one we'd want, but again, for me as your teacher, knowing that, okay, the fact that they can do this with the big one means they know how to do it. So I'll probably see what I can do with that. Well, you won't put it to 4, just when the numbers on here, it just means the numbers on here, each block instead of equaling 1, 2, 3, 4, each block will be multiples of 2. The first block is 2, the second one is 4, 6, 8. All right, let's see. We need to get down to the bottom part. I'm going to write down what the thing is here without asking for any help, and sketch it really fast. It's one of these two I need you to get to so that we can get you to respond to the question that I'm going to give you a handout. When it's 0, 0, here's what some of you may have written. You may have written x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals a 3 to the second power. Some of you may have written that. On a standardized test, they would never put an x minus a 0 because they know x minus 0 is just x. They wouldn't put y minus 0 because they know y minus 0 is just y. So here are two ways they might write it so that you're not confused. They might do in parentheses x squared, y in parentheses. But the last version is this. If there's just an x, you wouldn't put it in parentheses because the parentheses protects when you have more than one item. But if you just have one item in there, again, if it's on a standardized test, you would see just this thing here. Take a look at it. I'd want you to write down all 3 of them, so that way if you got any of the 3, you would have it. All right, so here's your task. Now I'm getting closer and closer to where I want us to be without using up too much of your brain, because you need a little bit of that brain left for the assessment and the page I'm going to give you. Read the first kind of word problem down here. Your main goal is to find the center, even if you have to put it on the graph first, because once you have the center, then you get the answer to the question. I did a little different with the other class, and I wish I would have done what I just said with you, which is read the question, and with what they're asking you to do, see if you can find the center of that circle and put it on your graph. Once you find the center, put it on your graph, you can write down what the center is, and automatically it'll give you the equation. I did a lot of arrow and opposites and stuff, which I still might do, but for you all, let me see if this cleaner version. Find the center, write the equation. Let me see if that version works better than what the other class does. That way when you're both going for the job interview, you guys will get the job, and they'll be homeless. I scratch the homeless part. You'll get the job, and they'll get the job. And I will give that, when they say move it to the right, they really want you to move it to the right or move it to the left. The words in the paragraph really tell you where to put your dots. That whole opposite thing happens once you have to put it into the formula. You taste the different versions, the straightforward version, the version where they say stuff. I think I read with people that the 3 units to the right and then 2 units down really wanted me to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. The radius happened to be a 4, so I saw people sketching that, but again, a 3, -2, I really saw that. And then I saw it there. The 3, x minus the 3, opposite. The y minus plus the 2, opposite. And what's that radius? It's just straightforward. All right. Part of me feels like, okay, you've said it enough. They get it. They get the center and the opposite. They get the picture thing. So I almost want to skip this guy. Even though some people, I know have already finished it, move units to the left, 1 unit up, the radius is a 2. This guy goes 4. Where's here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check the clock. Alright, I'm going to take my chance on this. I'm going to give you the handout, which will kind of mimic even closer than this one, maybe the real thing. They'll ask you for they'll tell you where to go. They'll give you the center, the radius. The only thing they're going to ask from you that this one doesn't is, if the circle is so big that it goes off the chart, scale it. In other words, do 2, 4, 6, 8 or something smaller. The other thing it's going to ask you that it's going to do, which I didn't like, it won't give you the 2 major axes. They're going to have you choose where you want to put it on your thing. You want to put it right down the middle, or do you want to put it on the side? I don't know why they didn't do that. In any case, let me give you this problem. But before I do, anybody want to ask anything? Hey, why is it 3 negative? Why is it 2 positive? Why does the 4 have a little 2 on it? Want to ask anything? Is today really Halloween in January? All right, whatever. Here comes that. Sorry. I tried. I'm so sorry. Because if they give you the diameter, it's 14. The radius is going to be half of that, so for the problem, it should be a 7. Which is even worse. Now, scale it. If you use the 14 here again, I'll recognize what you meant by the 14. It's too hard to switch it back. Right now, the most important thing to me is the equation. like one little piece, like one sign may have switched with that kind of thing, as opposed to like boom, you got nothing. And again, the other class, there's some who couldn't even start on what you did, but again, a mistake in the past makes it easier or better for the future. All right, let's say it. Here we go. Someone say out loud, what is the center of the circle? Yeah, which I don't like. You should know that. I don't like that because if you mess with 1, 5, you switch around. Who can tell how they got it right? But I'm fine with that. On here it says go -5. I'm gonna do the regular thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm at -5, -5. Again, the formula, we know there are two parentheses. Both of them get baby 2's. Equals R with the baby 2. Plus sign there. X comes before Y. Oops. Just in case you have to memorize it. But again, I think I may just write it on the board. I don't think this is the point of the lesson. Please memorize this. Minus an H, minus a K. And so I saw plus 5's all around. I saw that 7. Sorry about that again. And then to finish it off, an X. Oops. And a Y. And so if you got that one right, you're good. The only other part was the scaling. You could have done with the 7's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which would put your thing all the way off, which I get. But again, if you made it 2, 4, 6, 8 with 7, it'd still be tricky to where you're gonna put it in there. But so again, you got the 7 thing. I think he's supposed to be up here, over here somewhere. So super big is obvious. I can kind of work with you there. To make it smaller, let's see if we did a 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, okay, I guess 7 is right between 6 and 8. I guess that's not that tricky. Except the little dot is so small. Can you see that? That's, whatever that means. Alright, whatever. So here's the deal. If you did the small version, your 7 is right here, and it goes around smaller. Wait, what if I can't do the little red guy? Do the big blue guy. If we need to make an adjustment with the big blue guy, we'll do it after the fact. In any case, I got your brain for just a moment. I'm going to go see if I can turn on the air. Oh, anybody want to ask something? Where do you get the 5's? How do you get the center? Oh, what is S? No, you know what? It seems like it's telling you to do something else, but it's actually telling you to do